I would like to invite you to, in the popcorn format, to share just one statement or a sentence after this workshop today, Groundhog Day. What was the most valuable thing for you, and what would you like to share with those who didn't have the chance to join us today?
I think for me, it was really good seeing my reactions to each of the different check-ins and how I sort of responded to them, and also then how I then felt going into the rest of the session. With the, one of them felt very much more relaxing, another one was a bit more upbeat and energizing, but I still felt very excited going into the rest of the session. So it was great to experience these different types of check-ins rather than the usual. So thank you very much. Thank you. And let's see, I'd like to hand over to Lucy.
It's really funny because I was thinking, I just really second what Jenny said. The fact that check-ins can really steer the group towards your session in a different levels of energy and types of exercises, and that they really are. You can't go as far as saying they're essential, but I would personally consider them essential. Of course, you can do a workshop or a meeting without them, but I think that the benefits they bring in the thawing out of everybody coming to the session is really important and great part of the process. So. Oh, I always forget. I'm so sorry. I drop it over to Manal.
Thanks, Lucy. So if one really nice nugget that I picked up, and I picked up a lot, so it's to limit expectations and don't let participants settle into expectations. A lot of my sessions, there with participants who are very serious. So they come in with, we're here to do business, and sort of it's very reassuring to actually experience like these playful check-ins and how effective they can be in sort of countering that, not content related check-ins, right? So the nice balance between like playful and then it's now time to get serious, and how the playful aspect can actually be very effective in creating a culture to be vulnerable and serious and a lot more engaging. So I will pass it over to Lisette.
I love the playfulness as well. And I think using different senses in a check-in makes it such a rich experience, particularly when we're not talking but doing something else, whether that's drawing or dancing. That really made the difference for me today. And I'll pass it to Myriam.
Thank you. For me, the most valuable was, I think, overcoming this this resistance of not knowing. So this was totally never done before, and not to know how the participants, how you actually have experienced it, because since we started the check-in, or we started the workshop every time anew, so we didn't give you the opportunity to share with us how you experienced this check-in. Was a very vulnerable place, I must admit. I don't know how it was for Thomas, but I think to have then witnessed the energy in the room, and I think for me the highlight of this morning was to see you guys dancing to the different musics in the mirroring check-in. That was really cool, and I would have loved to participate. And I hand it over to Roberta.
I continue somehow your thought, Myriam, because it's nice, and also it was mentioned by Lisette before. It's nice to appeal to all the senses in order to be sure that all the profiles are covered when you have a group of people attending to the sessions that you are facilitating. And in the same time, I enjoyed very much what Thomas said, that people sometimes come with expectations, and it's nice to make surprises for them in order to make them detach of their expectations and to truly enjoy what is coming for them during that session. For me, it's important somehow, and I realize it even more now, that all the exercises, check-in, check-out, to have a reason. For me, it's important to have a reason in what I'm doing and in what I'm experiencing. And somehow it's important when you design a check-in or check-out exercise to put it in the right place, in the flow, to have a connection with what is coming next. Otherwise, it's maybe that's why people perceive these funny exercises at the beginning not so serious, because they don't see the connection, and they don't extract even from these exercises, which might be playful, haha, or whatever. They don't extract why did they leave that exercise. And for me, this is important, even if it is a short check-in or short check-out, to be done in accordance with the reason of all these sessions. And this is somehow what I thought during the check-ins. How will I connect this with during the sessions that I will have to facilitate, and how I will use it in order for the people to take the most of it. And this is somehow my idea with which I end this participation. And thank you. And I will pass to whom? Sarah, I think she didn't mention something.
Thank you, Roberta.
With pleasure.
I'm really appreciating just the space to experiment, and by creating the container that every time we're coming for a new exercise, that's actually the structure. And it reminds me of, I was talking to my daughter this morning about how I love music from the 80s and 90s. And then she said, that's because in your body, you already know the rhythm. So you can concentrate on singing along instead of what's going on, what's the music and what's the rhythm. And that reminds me how we can experiment within the rhythm. So working with teams, we can have the check-ins, but then mix it up so that they know that it's something is coming, but they don't know what is coming, and to how do you say, bridge it to why are we doing this? We're doing this because we're gonna have a heavy session, and instead of being in that heaviness, there's something more in life. So those are the things I'm taking away from. And I think off, right? You haven't. That's enough.
About it, there is no such thing as no check-in, right? So if you start a meeting and just to say hi, it's already a check-in. And to be mindful of that, and to control how much of a stretch you can have in a check-in, and also if check-in is a door, to be minded, and that's what I loved what you, what's her name, where is she? Yeah, Roberta said about be aware of what sort of room are you coming to, because you're the architect of the door, and the door has to be connected to the room. So I love that. And on a very practical level, as I said before, the dance exercise will probably give me a few days of deep reflection of what can be used in this space between everyone and private setting. And I'll pass it on to Kate, who's waiting patiently.
How do you know I was patient? Yeah, I know we're over time. I would agree with what everybody said. Yes, Dov, what you said about the dancing, I noticed that right away too. The fact that we were simultaneously in a one-on-one and a group experience, that was really cool. And I will think about that too. And then also starting with surprises. Yes, I will do so, because definitely oftentimes every time people come with expectations, and meeting people where they are in terms of opening them up, knowing what, what level to start at, but then always leading them with some sort of level of surprise, I think is a great idea. Thanks.
Checkout completed.
No, Thomas, so we didn't hear.
I have two short nuggets.
Oh, Thomas.
One is allowed, but I take the liberty to do. One is, it's important to be also mindful as a facilitator. I was reminded of today, because if we set up sometimes the exercises, but maybe we're with the head already in the next one and don't really sometimes appreciate what's going on. And today I had really the chance, if you're dancing, while I wasn't dancing myself, but I was at least as engaged, and I had goosebumps while watching you do it. And that was because I was just fully in the exercise. And the second thing is, a check-in is just as important for a facilitator as it is for the participants. It can be your anchor, can be something for you to really settle in. So it's not only all about the participants, because we're part of it. So those are the two things that I would pass on of today.
Thank you so much for beautiful closing words, Thomas. Thank you all for playing along and participating and dancing and drawing. I wish you a wonderful Wednesday. Tonight, I might see you at Clubhouse to discuss pricing of facilitation services. And on Friday, we have our very first hybrid meeting, and Kate is coming to Amsterdam, and Lucy will be there, and Audrey, and maybe Lisette, and maybe Sarah. So anyway, thank you. Excited. Sending you love and gratitude.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.
Have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a great day.
Take care. Enjoy.
Bye.